First Steps podcast is back. We watched a brand new show. We're going to talk about some adventures, made up adventures of Dickolas Turbins. Something like that. I don't know. If you want to find out, you got to tune in, baby. I'm Eric.
And I'm Dickolas Turbin.
And this is First Steps. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of First Eps. We got a comedy here today, a rare comedy.
Yeah.
We don't have too many of those.
Well, you never pick them for us.
Yeah, I hate fun. I hate laughter.
You do.
Yeah, I'm always just like yelling and cracking the whip, and you're like,
know,
I just want to watch a
I just want
comedy.
Adam Sandler kind of
Daddy.
movie, TV
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Yeah. I just want something that makes me laugh, like a Jim Carrey.
Exactly. And those guys are too big for TV.
Right.
They're not doing TV anymore.
No.
Just movies. And we don't talk about movies here, First Steps. We talk about shows.
Thankfully, they don't do many movies either anymore.
Yeah, Adam Sandler, he does a lot of movies for like Netflix, but you're not on that wavelength.
Are they always like panned? He just had a new one that came out that nobody loved.
Yeah, and that was very different. He did that as Spaceman.
He always tries something different, and it's always a flop. Anyway, this is not about Adam Sandler.
It's not about Adam Sandler. This is about Dick Turpins. We watched the completely made-up adventures of Dick Turpin. This is a new Apple TV series, comedy, mini-series, because I think it's only like 6 episodes.
Really?
Yeah. It's a short story.
Okay.
But it is a comedy, and it is like a period thing. Now, did you had no idea what this was going into it? I sent you a trailer though, right?
You did. I watched that.
And you're like, all right.
Yeah, it looked funny. It was kind of like to me, it seemed like it had a little bit of modern day Monty Python kind of fun with it.
That was my thought too. Yeah, so it's got Noel Fielding.
Who's from the British Baking Show?
He's from the British. He was always a comedian before that.
Okay.
And he was in a bunch of stuff.
Never knew him before that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I know this guy. Where do I know him from? And then it dawned on me.
That's funny that was his, that's where American people know
That's
him.
where he broke into our consciousness.
And my wife knows him as being Old Greg, who he's like green, he lives in a swamp, drinks out of a shoe.
Question.
Yes.
Well, what is Old Greg?
I have no idea. It was like a YouTube thing I saw. I don't know if it was like from some sort of like British sketch comedy or if it was just like, this was like during the beginnings of YouTube when everything was a mystery.
Like that shoes from Kelly.
Exactly. Yes. He drinks out of shoes. She sings about them.
Yes, right.
So it all tied into ShoeTube.
Yeah, ShoeTube. That was a close second for the name.
Uh-huh. But yeah, so we watched the first episode of this new show. Again, a little different from what we've been watching, like a lot of fantasy and stuff like that. So this was a nice little break.
Sure. Yeah. Also kind of fantasy like too, but not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
Different kind of fantasy.
Highwaymen.
More of like my fantasy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about the first episode of the show. There will be spoilers for the first episode, so if you want to avoid all that, hit the road, come back a little bit later, and then we'll talk about the fun stuff. Ooh. And it gets R-rated.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah.
Send the kids
First
to
steps
bed.
after dark. So this being the type of show that it was, I mean, I'm not going to, normally we'll talk about the points and everything's like setting up all the characters and stuff like that. This one, there's really not it's not a huge overarching story with a ton of characters.
Okay.
So we'll do our best.
Okay.
But it starts off, it says England, 1735, and then it says just before bedtime. And then I was like, oh, this is going to be one of them cheeky shows.
Yep.
Cheeky I knew it was going to be, from the trailer, knew it was a comedy. Wasn't sure how much it was going to lean into that, Monty Python style, satire, parody, whatever that is.
Yep.
But it gets there. And right away I was like, okay, here we go. And then we see this carriage with these rich dandies in there.
Oh, I love that part. That's cool. Huge bouffant wigs.
Giant wigs.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we see Noel Fielding. And he's running him down. He's riding him down.
Right.
And everybody's like, it's Dick Turpin. It was this big thing.
Yeah, and everybody loves him even though he's robbing them.
Loves him. He's like a big celebrity in the whole thing. And we see that it was a dream. Like a day. Was it a daydream?
I think so. Yeah.
So this is where right away I was like, okay, so this is definitely leaning heavily into the silliness. but I was a go.
Right.
That's what I said. I said
Yeah.
I was sitting by myself watching it. I said,
I'm a go.
I'm a go.
Yep. I said the same thing when I was watching.
But it was funny because then he gets woken up and he's like, "What? Is it time for lunch?" And he's like, "No, it's time for your hanging." And he's like, "Oh, will lunch be after?" And I was like, "Here we go. This is happening." And then he gives like a little cheeky look to the camera.
Right.
And I was like, "All right,
okay."
I'm a go." And then it goes into the intro. This amazing song. I couldn't tell what they were saying in this song, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I wanted to like play it on Spotify right away. I was like, I gotta look this up. And then this great intro too, with like this beautiful like paintings type thing. It was more silly, and I was like, I'm a go.
Yeah, I'm a go.
So he's in a like a carriage and with a bunch of prisoners, and they're on their way to the execution.
Right, and they're kind of swapping stories.
Yeah, well, they stop for refreshments.
Yeah, right.
And it was like more with that like silly satire stuff, because the guy driving the car, he's like, "Now if you're not back here in like an hour, I'm gonna leave without you," or whatever. So they run into a true crime writer during the thing.
Love her,
and she wants to hear his story.
Right,
the story.
She's heard all about him.
Of Dick Turpin.
Hey, do you know who that actress was? She looked very familiar to me, and I could not place her.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So a bunch of people looked familiar to me too, and I was like, I didn't. I couldn't really recognize anyone.
She was not also a host of the British Baking show, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
So yeah, then he tells his story, and he starts going back. Starts with him being like a butcher, and he doesn't like that life, so he ends up getting a job with a gang through some misfortune where he accidentally kills a man.
How did that happen? He had the future helmet. Now we don't want to spoil this.
Yeah.
A helmet from the future.
Yep.
15 minutes from the future.
So there was a carriage accident, and he had a gun in a bag that like flew in a tree.
Yeah.
But then the gun fell out of the tree and killed the man.
So it didn't bounce off of the bolt of the helmet.
No.
It just killed the man directly.
I believe so.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what happened. It all happened so fast.
Yeah. I may have like looked away at that point, so I could be entirely wrong. Okay. But yeah, so that guy died, and all of a sudden now he's like the new leader.
Yep. And at first we thought it was going to be like, the other highwaymen were going to be like, "You killed our leader, now you're going to die." But they're like, "You saved us, now you're our new leader." And all of a sudden here we are, married men. Yep.
Exactly. The Essex gang.
Yep.
What did you think of his future outfit, where he was pretending to be from the future? Would you wear that?
It looked like the kind of outfits he wore to the British Baking
Right,
show.
it absolutely looked like he just took that from his closet.
Totally.
It was so crazy.
Yes, of course, I loved it. It was amazing.
But yeah, so then they go back. At one point, they go back to like the bar where he's telling a story, and it's like entirely different. There's like how he's the this rough macho guy, and he like took down the leader, and he's like running this gang or whatever. But in actuality, it was like a total accident, and then like the other people in the gang are just ridiculous as well.
Yep.
The one giant guy, Moose, he just wants to wear a dress.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him.
I
can relate to that one. Yep. I'm wearing a dress right now. And then like the one guy is actually a woman, which is very obvious, but they're all like, shocked.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a very silly crew. And then so they go and they get new outfits.
Right.
Very fancy outfits.
Right.
Pleather.
Yeah. Pleather.
A nice blue dress.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm a go.
Right.
But yeah, it was really cool. I always, if you could live in like an era, would you choose like this era or a different time?
Maybe. What year was this again?
The 1700s.
Yeah, this would be a good one, but I would choose France, but before the revolution.
Yeah. Okay.
and I would be not there when the revolution happened.
Sure. Yeah, just in terms of like the clothing,
the style, 100%. Yeah,
I always love these looks
too.
Oh, you want to wear the
wigs? Would you do a wig or no wig for you?
No wig for me, but
wig.
a cool hat.
Yeah. So just a cool hat.
Cool hat. Lots of leather.
No big white powder wig?
No, it does not fit my character.
That.
You would.
That's not my character.
Yeah. I like all the layers that they wear.
Yeah.
I always am drawn to like Wild West clothing too, because they always have like all like 6 vests and 12 coats on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, you want to accessorize.
Yeah. And then third, late 90s, 1990s. Jinko jeans, baby. Belly shirts. I mean...
I lifted that once. I don't need to do it again.
And then one of the I guess the other main characters we meet is like his... I guess like the crime boss or whatever, the guy who's like running all the crime, who's also politically connected.
Right.
He comes to a meeting with his son.
Yep.
And I thought it was very funny.
Yep.
I could really relate. He's trying to get his work done, but his kid's like, Daddy, I found a moth.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I'm trying to do crime here. So yeah, that was funny. And so they try to work out a deal where he wants 95% of the gang's take or whatever. So
this is that government guy or whatever.
Yep. So he's like, Dick Turpin's like, run, and they go out this secret passage.
Right.
Cool secret passage.
Yeah.
And then Dick, he's like, I'm gonna go too, and then he goes to run out the secret passage. He goes into a cupboard instead.
Yeah. There was a cupboard in a secret passage.
Right
he
next
chose
to
the wrong one.
Yep. Classic Dick Turpin.
I'm a go.
So yeah, now he gets sent to prison.
Yep.
He's gonna be hanged.
This is how we got to where we are.
And now we're where we are. Yeah. So he's
yeah.
The famous Dick Turpin about to be hanged. Like, I don't know, like, did they even do any crimes as a gang? Like, it was like immediate.
No, well, they said because he killed the guy.
Yeah.
Whoever that one is.
No, I get that, but it was like they didn't even get a chance to shine.
No.
All of a sudden he's going and he's getting hanged.
That's what I thought too. I was like, really?
One of my favorite
see anything. Yeah.
favorite parts of the show is like he's all this bravado and he's going up to the hangman's tower and he's like because my gang's already here, and he like unmasks like the executioner, and it's like not his gang, and he was just like, that would have been really great if it was I was like, that would have been really great. It was funny.
Yeah.
But they were there, not as cool.
No.
The one girl goes to shoot the rope, completely misses, and is like, hang on, let me like reload.
As he's like dropped already and dangling. I'm like,
they're like, he's starting to twitch.
Yeah. It's pretty immediate to break their neck, so I think, but not
Dick Turpin.
No, I didn't realize he had like an adamantium neck.
He's got a thick neck. He's a thick neck boy.
Right.
But yeah, then they run out. You got Moose in his dress, and the other guy go save him, cut him down.
Yep.
And then they ride off into the sunset.
Yep.
With that sweet song playing.
That's right.
The intro song.
Yep. The four of them.
Yep.
Off.
And then it ends. It goes back. Like you think it's done, but then it goes back to them like hanging up wanted posters for Dick Turpin.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, you shut it off too soon.
I think
You're like, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
And it was like the guy and his son, the political guy and his son, hanging up posters, and the drawing is like a callback from earlier in the show.
The terrible
artist.
That's funny.
And it's that. And the guy's like, "How many of these did you print?" He's like, "Thousands or whatever." And he's like, "Oh."
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah. So it was it was quick. It was a very fast watch, half-hour show.
Yep.
Jokes one after another, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
it was like it was over as soon as it started.
Yep.
And we will give our review on this show, but first we got a lot of stuff to talk about. One thing, this is one of the longest show titles ever. So I had to look. I was like, are there longer show titles? I found one, and it was The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. I don't know if we watched this.
No, we didn't.
It was that Kristen Bell Netflix like parody show of like that genre.
I don't know why we didn't watch that one.
That was the only one. Yeah, I watched an episode of it.
You love Kristen Bell.
I do, but it didn't know what it wanted to be, that show. But I thought, did that show get hurt by having too long of a title? What would a better title be for that show?
Oh, The Girl Across the Street from the Woman in the Window?
Now I get the whole point of that is like it's a parody or whatever, but like let's simplify it.
Yeah.
Lady Watcher.
Okay, that's a good one.
Is it good?
I was going to do something with Streetwalker.
Streetwalker? That's a different thing.
I think that's the right
Nope, that's entirely different.
That's Here, you got to put a thing over that.
Yeah, big X. Another long title show, What We Do in the Shadows. Not as long, but still long.
Okay.
Longer.
I mean, it's not short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not short like 24.
Right.
That's a very short.
That's a short one.
Okay, so now let's try to lengthen that one a little bit.
24 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or
that's a good one.
1 day.
One day. 24 hours equals 1 day.
Yes,
that's
perfect.
A good one.
24 hours equals 1 day. I'll write this down.
And you will watch for 24 hours equaling 1 day in this show.
Yeah. Is one season.
Yes.
So all right, what we do in the shadows? What would
Stays in the shadows.
No, what would that be for a shorter show? Vampire Crew?
That's not much shorter though. What we do in the shadows.
What we do in the shadows? Vamps.
Bite.
Yeah. Okay, another long one. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's gotta be another long one. I mean, that's gotta be one of the longest. Yes.
Well, how do you shorten that one?
Well, it's sunny, right? Or it's always sunny.
It's still long.
Yeah.
What about
Sunny Philadelphia?
Crazy Bar?
Crazy Bar. Is that Charlie's name for this bar?
Yep.
Patty's Pub.
Patty's Pub.
Yeah.
That would be a good name for it.
Maybe that's a spin-off.
And it's like a Cheers type thing where it's just in the pub.
Yeah, we can just focus on the crazy cast that are their friends that sometimes come and drink and
come on down to Patty's Pub.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you wanna go.
All right, what about this one?
Yeah.
Alf. How do you make that longer?
Oh, the incredible cat-eating alien.
Yeah, I mean it's like an acronym, I guess. So alien life form.
Oh.
Would make it longer, I guess.
Sure.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. Okay.
So that leads me to another thing, like acronyms. Like ER is a show.
Right.
Very
Emergency
simple title.
room.
Could you just call it emergency room?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there are ones, this is how I went on a whole deep dive into titles.
Right.
Like CSI.
Right.
The show is called CSI Crime Scene Investigators. It's like one of those
That's like
double
redundant.
things. Yeah. Why do you need the whole thing? And they realized that when CSI NY came around, where that's just 5 letters.
That's not CSI
Crime Scene Investigators New York.
NY.
NY. Yeah. Like what are some other shows that were at Glow? That was an acronym. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Right. Obviously MASH, like we talked about last week.
MASH. What did MASH stand for?
Medical something.
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
Wow, very good.
Yeah, I looked that up.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm not in the military. I have no idea
CHIPS.
what it stands for.
Do you remember CHIPS?
Yeah, I don't remember CHIPS. No.
California Highway Patrol.
I know. Was that with the
Eric Estrada?
With the monkey.
No, that was a movie with Clint Eastwood.
I thought there was like an orangutan, like also as part of CHIPS.
I don't think so.
I don't know anything about CHIPS.
CHIPS is like a show
It's
about
like a cop movie, right?
It was a show about
they were on motorcycle things.
Motorcycle guys. Maybe there was a monkey in the movie.
I have no
there was
idea.
a CHIPS movie.
Okay.
That was like updated with maybe like I don't know Zac Efron or something.
No, I don't. No, I don't think that's what I saw.
All right, we did it. That was the old first app switcheroo, where we take long titles and make them short, and short titles make them longer.
That was one of my favorite segments ever.
Yeah, I could not find longer titles, which I guess is like a good. I mean,
yeah, people
a
want
testament.
Pithy. You want
short stuff. Yeah. Cheers, Friends.
Yep.
Frasier.
Right. Frasier.
Single
Seinfeld.
syllable words.
Right.
Yes, like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's what that was another one I was thinking. That's a lot of syllables. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Wow, that's like almost 2 hands.
That is 2 hands.
Wow, that might be too
a lot
much.
of Buffy.
Yeah.
Could have even just called that one Buffy. But it wouldn't have drawn people in.
Right, because I want to look at Vampire
Buffy?
Slayers. Right.
Yeah.
Like, Buffy to me sounds like, some upper...
Buffy and the Gang.
Right. Buffy and the Gang.
Yeah. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. Oh, another thing I found out as I was doing some research on this show.
You did a lot of research for this one.
Dick Turpin was a real person.
Wow. So these are made up adventures, but he was real.
Yeah, and only like some of the adventures are made up because I did see he did
from the 1800s?
Yeah, he lived
18th century, I mean.
The 18th century, yeah. He lived around like the same time.
Okay.
Born in 1705, died in 1739.
Oh,
because he was executed.
Okay.
For like
spoiler.
Yeah, I know. You think it's going to happen?
I wonder.
It's a comedy, but it was executed for horse theft. And then he was romanticized like 100 years after his death because someone wrote a story about him riding his majestic steed Black Bess from London to York in a 200-mile overnight ride.
Wow. Oh, overnight? That seems like an awful far distance.
Yeah, it was a whole fictional thing. But yeah, he did kill Tom King in real life by accident. It was his partner, and he accidentally shot him when he was trying to shoot someone else.
Okay.
And then he did have the gang of the Essex boys or whatever.
Okay.
But their main thing was initially they would poach deer, which was a terrible offense then.
Right.
Which again, I went down this crazy rabbit hole because I was like, so the people for poaching deer, you could get 7 years transportation or whatever, where you got to go over to the colonies just for killing a deer.
Well, that's because that's noble's property. They hunt those.
It was crazy.
You got to know your place in this society.
Yeah. So they would take the deer to Dick Turpin early on because he was a butcher, and he would do it on the low.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's why I got into it all. So the butcher part of it is kind of part of it. Yeah.
Right.
So they have actually fused in his real life into it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I was thinking, I was like, this is easy. We could take like some like bullshit story of some rando and then just make it funny.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah.
The story's written.
Yeah.
They just made it a couple jokes here and there.
So there's a great one from this around the time period where it's a woman who gave birth to rabbits. Have you heard this one? Yeah. Mary the Rabbit Queen or something. I can't remember.
In real life?
Yeah, well, she didn't really.
She had sex with a rabbit?
No. Well, but that's people weren't. They said it was like immaculate conception of rabbits.
Oh.
And so physicians went to it.
They say she laid with bunnies?
Rabbit parts. Actually, but they were like chopped up rabbit parts that came flying out of her when she was giving birth.
Whoa.
And it became a sensation in England. That'd be
weird.
a great story that we could tell for a comedy.
Let's make that funny.
Yeah.
We're going to work on that.
Yeah.
If you have any ideas how
Mary Toft, that's her name.
Mary Toft,
Yep.
the rabbit fucker.
Queen. No. No one called her. That's a modern day spin on it, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it, but it would be like F *****.
Oh, that's
for
a
the
good
show.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Class it up.
Yeah, it would be on. Looking for it soon on Tubi. All right, so let's get back to the show, Completely Made Up Adventures of Dick Turpin. I want to hear your thoughts on it. What is your rating on 1 to 7?
Well, it really reminded me of like Apple TV or whoever designed this as seeing the. Oh my gosh, what was the short one? What's one with the pirates?
Oh yeah, Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. Somebody saw that, liked the format of it,
Very
and said
much.
they wanted to do a similar themed where they're having people that are, scoundrels would make them lovable, and the whole even down to like the different crew that's with them, even the woman that's part of the group, like the whole thing just read of the exact kind of hyper colored, and it's the same way with costumes.
Absolutely,
the dandy was leading them.
Yeah,
I mean it was
very very similar,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like, and it's funny because I didn't think of it at the time because I was like, all right, it's doing a Monty Python thing, is what I initially went to because it was like that overly silly. But then the more I started thinking about Our Flag Means Death, and it was very much that as well early on.
Yeah.
Where all the characters were, hyper, crazy versions of real people.
Yes.
No one was actually like centered or like
no one's centered.
So that's a very good point. So does that,
I mean, it just to me I felt like it lacked a little. It felt a little look at me too.
Gotcha.
It didn't feel as fresh, I don't think.
Sure. So the lack of originality, it took some points off.
And now that I know what you told me about this is an actual story too, that it just seems a little dialed into me, where it's like someone trying to cash in on a trend.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I would give it like a 5 or 6.
All right.
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
I'm going to give it 5.5.
There it is. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was going to be funnier. Even like there were parts where maybe did like a little smirk or something.
Sure.
But not once did I like laugh. I never guffawed. I never lolled. I never even chuckled. But I enjoyed the writing. I thought it was silly. The guy Noel Fielding, who plays Dick Turpin, did a great job.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
He's fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it was very, very similar to Our Flag Means Death. I'm gonna give it I was initially gonna give it a 7 until you told me what you said, and now I'm like, yeah, they really did. It's very, very similar. So 6.5 for me.
All right. Lost 0.5 points for both of us. Yeah.
So it makes it our average score of a 6. You know, not bad.
No, I think it's fair.
An enjoyable show.
Yeah.
You got a half hour of your time.
Yeah.
Absolutely watch it.
Totally.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all.
But because it does lack a little bit of that originality, and I think Our Flag did it a little bit better. I thought, you know, the acting overall and the characters overall in that were great. This one, we'll see. You know, we're only one episode in, but I do find it funny. I would like to see like a mashup. Let's do both of them. Like Dick Turpin is on the high seas, and they like meet each other.
Idea. Yeah. See what goes down.
Yeah, like that one episode of The Office where Michael Scott's character meets Ricky Gervais's character. It's kind of like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Mind
blown.
Let us know what you thought of that show. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
The Incredible Adventures of Dick Turpin.
The completely made up Incredible Adventures of Dick Turpin. But yes, send us your thoughts, preferably on Post-it notes jammed into an envelope.
To the P.O. box on your screen.
On your screen.
Yeah, well, with that,
I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say. Yeah, thanks so much for checking out this episode of First Eps. We're gonna be off. We're not gonna do a new show next week. There's not a ton of great stuff, and we have to prepare ourselves for the following week.
Yeah,
when X-Men 97 comes out, baby.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, I gotta get my costume.
Yeah, let's wear our costumes.
Who are you gonna be?
Definitely Rogue.
I love it.
Sugar.
I'll be Gambit then,
Yes.
As I always said, I like to butch up and play Gambit every once in a while.
Have you seen, off topic,
yeah.
Have you seen how people are like shitting on, they took Rogue's butt size down a little bit.
She's
not as curvy in the newest season.
Yeah.
People are real upset about it. But,
wow.
Yeah. The gentlemen are still very handsome.
Okay.
So you'll be fine.
Whew, thank goodness.
So yeah, that will be the following week, and then we got a bunch of good stuff. Fallout. Did you see the new Fallout trailer? Oh my God, it looks amazing.
All right. Cool.
So yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up. So yeah, stop back, check us out on YouTube at Pop Culture Playground, where you find the video version of this. You can listen to the audio anywhere podcasts are found. You'll find us there. Just type in First Eps, and then you'll see our little faces pop up like this. And we're not smiling or waving yet. We could get a GIF. Like a GIF one, that'd be cool.
That'd be a great one.
But we haven't gotten there yet.
No.
And check us out on TikTok before it gets shut down. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
First Steps Podcast is back with the completely made up adventures of Eric and Keith. We watched a new show. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a new Apple TV show. And we're going to talk all about the first episode. My name is Eric.
I'm Keith.
And this is First Steps.
You really don't remember what it's called?
Yeah, I'm kidding, because I just said the thing. One of those is going to be fantastic, and the other one's going to be at the end of the show.